Now that the sun is set and the dust is settled over Joburg, let's talk about some of the negative things about this car. Now, I've thought and thought and thought again of what I can say I don't like about this car, and genuinely guys, it's been so difficult. However, I've thought of a few things, and none of those things have to necessarily do with the car. However, they have to do with the cost of the car. Now, I'm not talking about the cost of just buying a BMW M4. I mean, this is how much BMW M4s cost in the market currently. However, to get that BMW M4 to look like this, to drive like this, and to sound like this, costed over 600,000 Rand. Now, where did that money go? Some of that money went into the exhaust, the custom exhaust, the wheel and tire setup, which cost over 150k. The suspension, this car's got very expensive suspension in it. It's got KW coilovers, which makes it ride absolutely amazing, as well as sit as low as it does. A lot of money went into all the other extras, such as the carbon fiber bits and pieces you see on this car, the mirrors, the side skirts, the rear diffuser, the front lip, as well as that M4cs hood you guys see over there. That's not it. Moving on to the interior of the car, you guys will see this car's got a custom steering wheel, which also costed a few randeronis, to say the least. Now, let's talk about something else that is not quite nice about this car. And this is kind of a weird one because it's caused by something I love about the car, and that is the fitment, okay? This car sits so low to the ground. As you guys can see, this is about a 4-finger gap from the ground. Now, that is literally lower than our R8 and a lot of the other supercars that I've kind of been in. The bad thing about this is this does not have a front lift kit like the R8 does. So when you're going over like very low places, like when you're going over high bumps, when you're entering parking garages, you can't lift the car up. So it kind of sounds like this a lot of the time. That sound lives in my head rent free, you guys. I have PTSD. When I close my eyes, I just hear scraping. However, that is a small price to pay to have a car that looks this sexy. So when you lower in your car, that is something you have to keep in mind, and that is something that I don't quite like about this car. It's just the scraping. Alright, let's talk about one of the last things that I don't quite like about this car, and it's kind of weird because, again, like the last one is caused by something I love about the car. I'm talking about the wheel setup, you guys. So in order to get fitment like this, where you can barely fit one finger in, you got to stretch your wheels. That, with our lovely South African roads, comes at a bit of a price, such as going through 3 tires that we have gone through so far in this period. Guys, obviously it takes a lot to avoid potholes. Sometimes they're quite unavoidable, and with a setup like this, it does happen sometimes that you end up inside a pothole and without a tire. So that's one thing that I don't quite like about it. Now, this brings me on to the last thing that I don't like about this car, and again, it's caused by some things that I love about it. See guys, this car is quite low to the ground, and I'll give you guys a little bit of context on how low it is to the ground. To demonstrate just how low to the ground this car is, guys, just look at this. I'm sitting in my normal driving position, and that's pretty crazy. Even getting out the car is quite a shock when you get like out of the car earlier, like lower than your auntie Sari.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Because it's so low to the ground in comparison to other cars such as bakkies, such as SUVs, you often get the problem of being blinded when you're driving at night, and it absolutely sucks. However, besides that, I cannot really complain all that much about anything else about this car. You got turn off your high beams, jeez. But I cannot really complain about anything else about this car. Honestly, the positives really outweigh the negatives, and this is a car that I don't hate to say is the favorite one I've driven so far. different day. Now it's time to talk about the things that I love about the BMW M4 competition. However, a few things have happened since I filmed the last segment. See, I started hitting the gym, I gained some weight, I got a girlfriend, and we sold the BMW M4 competition. However, I know a lot of you will be sad about that. So am I. We deeply regret the decision. However, we've got another car that I'm going to use to show you the things that I love about BMW M4s. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the BMW M4cs. Let's get into it.
So let's get down, baby. Oh, I know it's just hard to find yourself. I know it's just hard to find your own way. But baby, you will find us by yourself. You just need to see.
Now, before we get into the things that I love about this, I just want to talk about a few of the key differences between the M4cs and the competition that we had. Starting in the front over here. So you'll notice this has got an original CS hood. So did our competition. However, it just kind of hits different when the car came out the factory like that. Over here at the bottom, you'll notice that we've got the M4cs carbon fiber splitter. This thing is absolutely amazing. Makes the car look so sick. However, it is a bit stressful driving around with that on because scraping and cracking a carbon fiber splitter hurts and is way more expensive than scraping and cracking a plastic splitter. Coming over to the wheels over here, this is another difference between the M4cs and the competition. Look at the CS wheels. I'm gonna go on and record and say I prefer the CS wheels over any rim that BMW has made. That's a big statement because I also love the competition wheels. Moving on to the back, we've got the carbon fiber CS spoiler over here, and coming down over here where the party is the exhaust system. See, the M4cs comes with a free-flowing exhaust. You can spec it from factory with an Akrapovic exhaust such as this one over here. However, this one is stock standard. Now ignore the performance stickers on the car. It's not tuned, it's stock, and it is beautiful. Now let's get into the things I love about this car. Now I'm going to generalize this because a lot of things I love about the CS is the same things that I loved about the competition, and that is the styling. I mean, just look at this thing. This has got so much road presence, especially if we come out front over here and we just take a look at the front end of this car. Imagine seeing this thing in your mirrors on the N1 highway. How fast are you going to move? Because even when I'm driving this thing and I see another M4 behind me, I skedaddle out the way. Another thing I love about the M4 is the interior. So the CS interior is very different to the competition's interior, but nonetheless, this is an amazing place to be in. You feel like you're almost driving a fighter jet. The whole driving position of the BMW M4 is so aggressive, and now I understand why BMW M4 drivers drive the way they do, because this thing just wants you to. Okay, so moving on to the things that I love about the M4, and that is what you guys just saw over there, is the reactions that people have when they see this car. The whole community that comes with these cars, right? So the way, so it's the whole community that comes hand in hand with this car. How everybody looks at the car, how everybody interacts with you when you're in the car. Everything from other car guys to people in just like normal pedestrian cars, I guess you can call it. Ooh. What's that? Woo! The next thing I really love about BMW M4s is this. They sound so freaking good, man. Like, look, I don't know, you guys let me know in the comments below what the best sounding modern day M is, okay? I love the way B58 sound and also love the N54 BMW M2, but listen, man, something about the M4s just gets me going, man. Like when you let off the throttle, that like whip, that whopper, ooh boy, I swear that thing does something to me. Also the way the car actually feels. So this car makes a whole lot of torque on the low end, so it does things like this. It completely pushes you back in your seat, right? And I think I can call this thing a neck snapper. Every passenger that gets into this thing will probably need to get their necks checked out if they don't press their head back on the seat and brace themselves, because this thing is very, very aggressive. This next one might be quite subjective, but I tell everybody that I know, listen, it doesn't matter what car you're driving. You can be driving M4cs, a Lamborghini Huracan, even like a Kia Picanto, for example. As long as whatever you're driving makes you feel like a boss, you've won. And the M4 makes me feel like such a boss, man. Like this thing is just so sick. Like, I don't know how else to put it, man. The whole package, the sound of the car, the aesthetics, the downshift, the rev matching on downshifts, just makes you feel like the king of the road, man.